Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, as today is episode 9 of your Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode. As today we got a lot of things coming as we get the 2022 free agency day, as we look to keep developing and improving the team slowly and hoping to see some development out of some great prospects, as well as we got extremely lucky this year winning the lottery in picking a retro Migrado. So we got some amazing prospects ahead of us here for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I'm excited personally to have the two greatest American players right now in the world, I think, here soon, and Ken Johnson and Retro Migrado. We're going to have an amazing 1-2 punch combination, and especially with Laine on the wing, it is going to be nuts with this team. But before I keep babbling on, I just want to say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. So let's get straight into today's puppy, as we got lots of stuff to do. We got to go straight through free agency, improve the team, and I have a couple players in mind. Now, before we kind of jump into seeing who we're going to be signing, I'm going to go over what we really need. Now, like I said in the last episode, we need a puck-moving defenseman. Without a doubt, we need some depth forwards to kind of fill in the squad. Of course, we need a second line power forward, because I think the way that I'm going to go with this year's top 6 is have Liam Foudy probably be the first line guy alongside a Laine Bjorkstrand, and then Bemstrom alongside of Roslovic, and then some other left winger that could play alongside of Roslovic and Bemstrom. Someone defensive, kind of give us some veteran leadership there. Then depth will go with Atkinson, Texier, Marchenko, Yelpic, and then we'll probably just fill it out with the rest of the guys that we got there with Pew Suter and stuff like that. Otherwise, defensively, we got Zach Werenski, Garakvo, Jensen, Van Riemsdyk, Carlson Peak. We got a really deep defense core as it is, but we are going to be picking up an offensive defenseman, as that was something that we were definitely missing throughout the season. So we're going to be picking up somebody to play alongside of Garakvo this year, and probably for years to come, hopefully, unless we trade him at the deadline, because our team will most likely still suck. We don't have a lot of young defensive prospects coming through the pipeline, which I should actually check if there's any prospects that we could possibly pick up now for basically for free. Now, we cannot sign any RFAs. That is a rule. We're not allowed to sign any RFAs that are under a 82 overall. Over 82 overall, we can. Yeah, can't sign any free RFAs over 82. Yeah, I think I might have misspoken that rule or miswrote it, but we're not allowed to sign any free RFAs. Just one of my rules. I don't like signing them for free and just filling up your team full of prospects. I'd rather work for it. And yeah, there's not really too much to look in there, honestly. Not a lot of prospects. I wasn't thinking there was. So we're gonna go straight to defenseman. There's not a lot of good defensemen to talk about. I was like, maybe we could pick up D'Angelo, but I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. He's a dick. He doesn't even deserve to be in this game. So I'm like, we're not gonna sign him. But a guy we were thinking of signing was Sami Vatanen, a guy who doesn't have too bad defensive numbers, but can really move that puck and be a good power play guy for us, which is what we need. We need a secondary unit guy to play on the power play, so we'll spin the wheel here on Sami Vatanen, because he is making under $3 million, so we're going to have to give him a no movement clause, or what if he wants a full-blown no movement clause. I don't know if I really want to give you that, Sammy. We'll go over to Justin Schultz, because Justin Schultz, he still has some good numbers. He might be a little bit more costly, but I mean, we got $30 million in the bank right now, so if we sign some bad contracts, it's all right. He wants a no trade clause, and I know there was another offensive defenseman as well that we could just basically get for free. Maybe I was misspoken. Maybe I was seeing somebody. I did see another offensive defenseman somewhere that we could have gotten easily, who did produce pretty well, but maybe I was seeing stuff. Probably was seeing stuff. Maybe there's some other offensive defensemen there, but your two main guys are Justin Schultz and Sami Vatanen. Justin Schultz wants a no trade clause. I'll give him that. 2 years, $3.7 million for the next 2 years. He'll be a serviceable, oh my lord, I cannot speak English, serviceable defenseman for the team. He'll be a good guy. I think for the squad, he'll fit there well. For forwards, we need a depth kind of winger, and I was thinking Valeri Nikushkin. We needed a power forward. He can be a little bit physical, He's mostly defensively, though. That's the biggest thing that I was looking at. 89 defensive awareness. He has 90 stick checking. Really good defensive guy. Oh yeah, Nick Paul was the cheap guy that I was remembering. But Nick Paul as well was kind of on my radar as well, who had 37 points there for the Ottawa Senators. But I think we're gonna end up going with Nichushkin anyways. He's had some really good statistical seasons. Not as great as Paul, but he's been showing some great defensive numbers, and I enjoy his game. So, Valeri Nichushkin, welcome to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Hopefully you sign with the team, because he would be a perfect guy to go alongside of Roslovic and Bemstrom going into this upcoming season. And I wouldn't mind picking up like a two-way forward type of player to play some depth on this team for this upcoming season. Kalle Yankeruk, not bad, but he's not the greatest defensive guy in the world. I know Nick Bonino. Nick Bonino has some great defensive stats, so we'll sign him to a little bit of a contract, get him to just a 1 year. We don't want him to be signed to anything special, just a 1 year, $2 million deal for Nick Bonino. Just a depth guy for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then if we need to trade him away at deadline, we can, right? We don't have to give him any no-trade clause like we did with Justin Schultz. Goaltending-wise, I was looking at Adin Hill. Now, because we're going to need a long-time replacement for goaltending. We haven't drafted one yet, and we really don't know what the hell we're going to be doing with goaltending. Adin Hill is 26 years old. He's could be a very serviceable goaltender for the next couple of years for this team, and we are almost near being, pushing towards that playoff spot, right? I mean, we could totally go out there and sign Matthias Ekholm or Colton Parayko and really bolster this team up and make it a deadly team, but I kind of want to be patient. But I think picking up Adin Hill this year would be like a stepping stone moving forward for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I mean, I'm not going to sign him if he wants a no movement clause. That's the only thing that I'm going to do. He wants a half no movement clause, half no trade clause. That's a tough one for me, because I don't want to lock myself into a goalie that, I don't know, he's only had 1 year, a .910 save percentage, and that's all he's played. It's a risky goalie, but I'm going to take the bet on it. He's 26 years old. If he could play this good right now, I'll be happy with it. So $4.7 million for the next 4 years. I'm going to take a gamble on Adin Hill, and if it doesn't work, then, well, put me on a pitchfork then. But I'm going to be adding Adin Hill. 2 years no movement clause, and then the rest are no trade clause. So we only have to deal with them for 2 years, and we won't be a contending team for at least the next 2 years anyways. So if Adin Hill doesn't perform very well, then we can dump him off if needed. So let's continue now. So yeah, we're not going to trade away Adam Lowry, especially that type of deal. And hell no, I'd rather keep my picks that I currently have. We're going to be bringing in a pretty big haul. So Nichushkin signs with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Bonino does. Adin Hill and Justin Schultz all sign with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Binnington for Atkinson. Now, sorry, Atkinson has no trade clause, and no, I'd rather not take Jordan Binnington on my Columbus Blue Jackets team. So we're still a seller, but honestly, I'll take this as a W for this offseason. Legit. We spent about $10 million, and we did more than what we did in the last offseason. We picked up a very serviceable guy in Nichushkin, got another good centerman in Nick Bonino. I mean, he could play even the wing as well. Defensively, Justin Schultz, we added him to our defensive core. It's definitely not the most beautiful looking defensive core, but it is something to, keep improving on. And now we have Adin Hill, who could potentially be our starting goalie with Patrik Laine. So honestly, I know the Adin Hill contract might be a boom or bust thing, but when you have we only have $15 million left in our salary cap pocket, but we have the funds to, do what we want going into this next season. So one thing I do got to do though is sign just a depth player onto the team. Some guy that I can move his contract around, so we could just sign him to a little bit of a contract so he could take up some money on our team, so we don't have to, so it doesn't boost up the salary for other players, because I'm not planning on signing anyone else. I'm good with the team that we have. We're going to now go into the season. Hopefully we get to see, Ken Johnson jump up and those types of players, but I definitely do want to keep developing this team. That's the biggest thing. That's why I signed a lot of those free agents and didn't want to sign them to too many no movement clauses, just just in case we wanted to go out there and make some moves later on. That was the biggest plan that I really wanted to move forward with, is be patient, make some smart moves with the team, and trade away players that, you know, take up some space. Cam Atkinson will probably be another guy that we are going to be looking to trade without a doubt. He's a guy that he's not a waste of skin on the team, without a doubt. He's not. He's a very good leader guy for the team. He's been great. He's a guy that's also taking up, you know, a 30-year-old spot on the team, because remember, we have to have over 3 players over 30 years old. So we already have a decent amount. We also signed Justin Schultz, which adds to that 30-year-old, and Nick Bonino as well. So we're practically above that 30-year-old mark. Maybe the leadership we were missing out last year. Maybe the leadership on this team will step up, but I just don't think we have any all-star centermen to really take this squad to the next step into this upcoming season. So captaincy and stuff like that, I think, yeah, I'm happy with Bjorkstrand being the captain of this team. He's been on the team for a long time. He's going to be reaching that 1,000-game mark here sooner or later. He deserves to be the captain without a doubt. He's a great leader for the team, so I believe in that without a doubt. So let's continue on here. So here we are in the start of the 2022-23 season. Hopefully we can see some development. I am really hoping to see some development from some players. Laine 92. Our top 6 is going to look pretty solid this year, though. And the contracts that we have these guys all signed to for the next little bit is amazing, right? Roslovic to 4, Bemstrom to 6, Foudy to 6, Bjorkstrand to 4, Laine to 3. Right, very nice contracts across the entire team. Atkinson continues to drop on the squad. Marchenko jumped up to an 82. That's nice to see. Suter an 80 overall in the system. Chinkanov, he's jumped up to a 78 overall. He had a great year there for the Windsor Spitfires. 2 great years. Had a little bit of a down year the year before, but before that he popped off there. So that's good development to see from him. Defensively, I'm not expecting to see too much improvement. Rowensky 87. Peak did jump up to an 82. I'm expecting Peak to play alongside of Zach Rowensky this upcoming season, so that should be an exciting tale to see. Defensively, we don't have very much other prospects. And Adin Hill at an 83, and then Vevalainen will be the backup for Mr. Adin Hill. So not looking too bad, not looking terrible. We got some pretty good prospects coming along for us, so that's good to see. Let's take a look at the other prospects right quick and see how they are they're performing, how their development. So Kent Johnson at a 78 overall. I say we keep him in the WHL once again there with the Vancouver Giants. They deserve to have him one more year there. He's been ripping it up there. McGrody, we'll keep him down there once again. We don't really need him this upcoming season. So yeah, we definitely need to continue that defensive prospect for the defenseman. I mean, we got Mills. He was nice to have. Nice to get Solomansian in that first round as well. And also Lokarainen in that first round. We got some really nice defensive prospects that should develop into some decent players, of course, but we have no low elite guys like we have Eddie Allman, the Allman Man, or, you know, Kent Johnson and McGrody. Also, we definitely need to improve upon our goaltending prospects as well, because I mean, we don't have the best players in the world. So I don't think Connor Bedard, sadly, is not in this franchise mode. But we do got Matev Michkov in this franchise mode, which I do not plan on picking him up. The guys that I am planning on picking up this year is like a guy like Taro Luzhinin and Metachuk. Oh, I did forget to take a look at the coaches and stuff like that. Did I actually hire a coach? Or, yeah, okay. Sweetland's still on the team. Yeah, we just did hire him, right? We did just hire him. I wasn't, you know, too pleased with him, but let's keep him for this next season, and we'll see how he does. I would not mind seeing how Gary Sweetland does with this team. Maybe a new assistant coach. Maybe. Someone that could be better defensively. But, I mean, this team is going to be rebuilding anyways, so it's not a big deal that man, our scouts are still terrible. I don't think we're going to be able to improve upon it very much either. That kind of is a big bummer. Whatever. Not too big of a deal. I mean, it is our developing years, but if we could get a high up pick, then we could practically guarantee ourselves that we should get a good player. we really need to develop our prospect core system like we did with the Seattle Kraken series and how we, grew that system up. I think that's the same way that we got to build here with the Columbus Blue Jackets, is just really build up their prospect system and kind of get that going. So yeah, let's make the lineups, get everything kind of organized, and then that will basically be the episode. You guys in the next one can help me dictate what we do with the lines, and we'll probably sim up to trade deadline. But let's quickly take a look over the lineups. I do not want Bemstrom on the top line. I would definitely want Foudy up on that top line. No, can we put no, Nikushkin does not make it a +5, sadly, but we do get a +3 out of that top line, and without a doubt, I'm very, very happy about that. Laine, Foudy, Bjorkstrand, it is going to be one hell of a good line. I'm excited about this core. I actually think this Columbus Blue Jackets team could be a very likely underdog team coming into the season, without a doubt. They just have the players that we could really pull things together and actually have a very solid season. We have, solid depth with us. We don't look too bad of a team. Defensively is where things, might go kind of downhill. I rather not have Van Riemsdyk there. Peak, I'd rather have you Peak playing with my boy Zach Werenski, and then Schultz with Garakovo, and then Carlson with Nick Jensen is kind of what I like the pairs to be. And then special teams wise, we want Laine in that 1T spot. Why are these power play lines like that? What the heck is going on here, man? We want Bjorkstrand for sure up on that top unit. We want Roslovic playing there, so Foudy could play that 1T spot. Bjorkstrand could play the 1T spot for Werenski. Nikushkin could play the 1T spot. Bemstrom could play that 1T spot there. Nick Bonino could probably be pulled, and we could put on Marchenko because he's not playing yet. And then, of course, Marchenko and Schultz, Texier, Nikushkin, and Bemstrom. That sounds good to me. Four-man power play. I'd rather have Bjorkstrand. I do not understand why they do not have Bjorkstrand there. That actually makes no sense to me. But we'll take Nick Bonino. I don't know why Nick Bonino keeps being put on this power play, but he's not a power play guy. We'll throw Bjorkstrand back up there. I'm liking these lineups, man. I mean, to contend in this Metro Division, without a doubt, we will not be contending in this Metro Division. Most likely, we are going to be getting our asses handed to us. But with these, our offensive core is going to be hella deadly. And, looking forward to it, we can trade away a lot of these players come towards deadline, Of course, we're going to be keeping most of this top six. The top six is going to be mostly staying together. But if we need to trade away Nikushkin, we could trade away Nikushkin, right? We could dump off Atkinson most likely this year. Nick Bonino could be dumped off. Defensively, we could dump off Schultz if need be. Jensen if we need be. Van Riemsdyk if we need to as well. Garakovo, we could dump him off as well. We have some trading assets that we could go in towards this season. And I think even too, we have another first-round pick coming as well. So for this team coming up this year, we have some we have 2 firsts, a second, a third, 2 fourths, a fifth, sixth, and a seventh coming up towards this next season. So we have some very good draft picks coming up, man. We really do. And this draft, if it's going to be as what it is going to be, it should be a very fun draft. I would actually like to take a look at the Dallas Stars right quick, because if the Dallas Stars are not looking like a great team, then this could be a highly great year for us. They are a seller right now, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on a second. How is this team a seller? They got a great first line there. Radulov, Sagan, Ben, okay. Gurionov, Rope, Hens, Nick Paul, okay. Yankuruk, Faska, Hudon. Okay, they don't look terrible defensively. They got good defense. I think this team could contend. Ottinger, most likely Dallas will contend. I don't know why their status is a seller. Like, even us. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets can even contend for a playoff spot this year. Honest to God. I mean, the only thing that kind of brings us down is our defensive core. But even then, we don't got the worst defensive core. Jensen, Garakovo, and Peak will probably have to carry it, but it's not a terrible defensive core. Our offensive core is probably going to be where we lie rest with Laine, Bjorkstrand, Bemstrom, and all those guys. But for right now, guys, I'm going to end the episode here. In the next one, we're going to be simming up to trade deadline, getting into some game time action, seeing how Laine and all these young guys produce for the Columbus Blue Jackets. But for right now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigo.